Living on the other side of the world brings its trade-offs. The Monsters and Memories playtest started at 2 in the morning, my time. I definitely wasn't staying up for that. But I did have about 3 hours when I woke up. Not enough time to master anything, but it was enough to pick one thing and see it through. So I chose blacksmithing. And I'd soon learn that blacksmithing has a web of interdependencies through mining, leatherworking, and a bit of bartering. There wasn't enough time to finish a full set of armor, and this was by no means a min-max route. I just wanted to see what this skill would ask of me. None of this progress would carry over when the game launches, but the way I spent the time might. Act 1. Mining. Mining was simple. I took a route I'd tried last test, passing through familiar edges of the forest, and stopping to cut down a few humanoids on the way, hoping for leather scraps for later. Copper veins line the mountain edges of Evershade Weald. Like in other games I've played, rocky ridges and cave mouths are where the ore tends to hide. Here, you have to physically equip your mining pick, and a torch can sit in your offhand. It felt good to walk the outer reaches of the forest again, and to see what had changed. I noticed a waterfall tumbling down the cliff, and stopped to admire the beauty. I noticed a cave mouth that used to be full of hostile fungus men, docile this time, watching, not striking. I even was able to finally finish my ranger quest and scouted the cave. They didn't seem to mind if I took a few ores as well. Ore went into the bag. Torchlight guided my path. It felt steady, meditative. If blacksmithing were only this, I'd have been done already. But mining was just the beginning. Act 2. Leather. After about an hour of mining, my ore bag was full. It was time to head back to town and smelt. Each ore needed a smelting mold. It costed 1 copper coin apiece. A small cost. And in no time I had stacks of bars cooling on the anvil. That's when the other half of the problem showed up. To make chain armor, you need chain links. Chain links can be combined with leather straps. Straps are made with the leatherworking skill, so you can see where this is going. While mining was a relatively peaceful route, scraps came from things that hit back. I went after skeletons and also stopping to kill any orcs I found on the roads. I returned to an old camp I'd visited before and started working through them solo. Their drops looked something like this. Cloth, bone chips, cloth, and more cloth. I even had 1 or 2 close calls. For a while, I wasn't even sure if rawhide could drop at all. When you know the clock is ticking, every dry pull feels heavier. After a messy 2-pull, I told myself I'd clear the camp one more time. Then it dropped. 1 scrap. Just enough hope to stay a little longer. Right then, an archer showed up, standing by the fire, asking if he could join and we could make a little chill camp together. We grouped. I told him I only needed the scraps. Traded him whatever cloth I had farmed. It worked. We settled in. I even hit level 7. Slow, but it felt good. I ran out of arrows halfway through, so we found a way to make the archer-ranger combo work. I'd snare the mobs while he kited with his bow. Eventually, I had enough for a handful of straps and headed back to town. Said my farewells and headed down the familiar path. That's when I had a thought. Once I returned, I made a quick pit stop at the leatherworking vendor, just to see. And there they were, rawhide scraps. Stacks of them, 15 to be precise. Players had sold them off without thinking twice. In one glance, I found more than an hour's worth of fighting. For a second, I felt clever. Sure, I skipped the work, but it was mainly because I finally saw how the world fit together. In a fresh world, value hasn't settled yet. You can watch it forming in other people's blind spots. That felt good. Act 3, the forge. The anvil felt different. Mining had been calm. Leather had its own little puzzle. The forge was uncertain. There are no success percentages. No big warning pop-ups. Just recipes with difficulty colors. Green for trivial. Different shades of blue for easier work. White for complex. Then yellow, orange, red. I call them the maybe don't touch this yet tier. Not because it's impossible, but because failure here actually costs you. Materials gone. Time lost. So, I went for it. First, 2 sets of chain bracers. They went through. Skill up. Then a necklace. Success. Then I tried a blue difficulty recipe, chain gloves. Failed. Oh, I failed. Okay. Materials gone. An easy copper short sword. Failed again. Failed. Oh, man. More copper bars down the drain. But I didn't get angry. I just went quiet for a moment. There's a small pause now before I press combine. Let's just try. Oh! I did it. In most games, crafting is just a button. Here, it's a decision. I was at the mercy of the RNG gods, sometimes blessing me with a complex craft success, but not granting a level up. Other times, I was failing at easy recipes. By the end of the session, I'd hit level 10 in blacksmithing. Nothing impressive on paper, but I understood something. Blacksmithing isn't complicated. It just refuses to hold your hand. You have to pay attention to what gives skill and what doesn't. When to push and when to back off. And when to let the world do some of the work for you. 3 hours wasn't enough to master blacksmithing, but it was enough to feel its edges, to see where the friction lives. In failed combines, dry camps, and vendor windows most people ignore. Enough to be reminded that even on a test server, how you spend your time still says something about you. I didn't walk away with a full set of chainmail, but I stayed with one craft long enough for it to leave a mark. And for a short morning in Evershade, that was all I was really looking for.